Hello! In today's video I'm going to be doing an updated collection tour to celebrate 300 subscribers. I think last time I did one it was to celebrate 50 subscribers. So we've come a long way since then, and so have I. I've moved out, so now I have a whole flat full of Doctor Who stuff as opposed to just a bedroom. So starting from this point, I don't know why, this is my bedside table. I've got this Davros tin, and then beside it I have Morton's. The top one has Doctor Who stationery in it, and the bottom two are power rollers. I don't know why the amount of Doctor Who power rollers I have has doubled since the last room tour, but nobody needs that many. Moving on to this bookcase, up here is a collection of random Daleks, just chilling, watching me sleep. And then that awesome Day of the Doctor print that you can see at the back there. Here's a close-up of the Daleks. There's an assortment, and I still need to complete my Paradigm set, because as you can see I'm missing two. On the shelf below it we have this photo, which is actually the inside of the DVD cover for Time of Angels, and in front of it I have 3 Weeping Angel figures, because I thought that made sense. Moving along we have the start of the new series hardbacks, and in front of them some character building figures. There's some random 11th Doctor stickers on the side, and also the 50th anniversary keyring just dangling there. On the end of the shelf I have this photo of the family of blood, because having a photo of my actual family wouldn't fit the theme. I'm joking, that's just there. Moving down to the next shelf we have some books that wouldn't fit anywhere else, and the Journal of Impossible Things. Next to this pile of Target books. I don't really like them sideways, but unfortunately they don't fit anywhere else. Then we have my mini selection of Virgin New Adventures, and then some random books at the end, and now we are 600 on top. Moving down to the last shelf, we have the start of the Complete History books, the 11th Doctor character building set, and then, sorry it's too dark to see, but there's some figure boxes and some more homeless books hidden behind there. So that was that portion of the bookcase. Now back up to the top for some random DVDs and bits and bobs. So I have my only 2 J-pop figures just chilling in front of this gorgeous VHS set. This was way too nice to store away with the others, which I'll show you in a bit, so it's just here. And on top of that I have a couple of 3.75 inch Capaldis and a Clara, and next to them a little Dalek keyring. And then we get onto the DVDs, so I've got Torchwood, Surgeon Adventures and K9 Company, some random Who ones, and then some DVDs with Doctor Who actors in them. So with Nell and I, then Broadchurch and Secret Smile, because obviously they have David Tennant in them, The Crown for Matt Smith, and then 40-something for Peter Capaldi and a young Benedict Cumberbatch. Then next to them we have the majority of my Being Human collection, so the DVDs and the books, because that's basically all there is in terms of Being Human merchandise. And on top of those DVDs I have these awesome 12th and 10th Doctor figures. Moving down we get to the next shelf of new series hardbacks, guarded by an assortment of Titans and an adipose. The shelf down is the start of my unboxed figures, so I've ordered these somewhat unconventionally. At the back, which you can just about see, is Companions, and then it goes on to Masters, and then Doctors. I basically did it this way so all the 11th Doctors would be at the front. You know what my priorities are by now. And the last shelf for this segment consists of more of the Complete History books. So back at the top we have my Matt Smith autograph, also a 7th and 8th Doctor postcard. There's an Ood and a Cyberman keyring here for some reason as well. Moving over we have my wonderful 5-inch Saigon and the figurine collection Cyber King, who is newly restored after breaking into several pieces during the move. Next to him I have the Time of the Doctor collector set and a fairly new edition, the Beautiful Class Final. Moving down we have the final shelf of new series hardbacks, with the exception of those paperback 12th Doctor novels because there wasn't enough space. And on top of them I keep these Didi Bray bookmarks. Oh, and on the side you may have noticed this 11th Doctor Christmas tree decoration, again dangling. Then in front of the books we have some Time Squad. I really like the Time Squad figures. Then beneath that we have my second and final figures shelf, which you can probably tell is Monsters, so it goes from the silent at the back there to a few unboxed classic figures. Ending with my best charity shop find ever, which was this Vogue robot for 15p. What a bargain. And underneath that we have the final shelf of complete history books, which is sadly finished now, but that was probably a good thing because I've literally run out of space for it. On top of them lives my only Blu-ray steelbook, which is Doctor Who and the Daleks, and this questionably painted box of figure parts. So that's that section of the room. Moving across we have this shelf. So at the back I've got a couple of finals, the awesome Zygon Hunt one, and behind that, if you can just about see, is Cold Vengeance. I do have Infamous the Zaros, but for some reason I don't keep it with these two. Again, random things at the front, including a bottle, 11th Doctor, awesome 13th Doctor badge, and this little Daleks in Manhattan thing. It's got Laszlo in it. Don't know why I said that. Then I have some mugs with Sonics in them. So there's this Return of Dr. Mysterio one, which has some DW Sonics, and then the 10th Doctor Sonic. I have honestly no idea why there's a Captain America ruler in there, but we'll roll with it. Then I've got this Sherlock Convention mug, which has all my other electronic Sonics in it. I still need to get 13s. And then last but not least we have this Zygon mug, which is full of DW 11th Doctor Sonics. And they are of course sat on top of my Big Finish collection, which is mostly box sets that I took out their slipcases due to space. And then I have a couple of single releases. I kept Churchill Years in its box set because it's my favourite, and Class because they're not the standard CD sizes, so they actually don't fit in this unit. Then I've got some soundtracks and audiobooks, and then I have a bunch of those free CDs that came with Radio Times and the Daily Telegraph, and they're sitting on top of a lot of Take That CDs. This little crevice next to the unit is where I keep my Big Finish boxes. Other CDs. So those two tins, the Pandorica, and then the really cool collection of 11th Doctor audiobooks. Now we've moved on to my frames that I can't put on the wall, so they just live here. This is an autograph from one of my favourite actors, Damien Maloney, who plays Hal in Being Human. Then we have the awesome Target book artwork poster, which I actually just put in here to try and straighten it out after I accidentally sat on it, but now it just lives there. And behind it we have an 11th Doctor DW poster. So my original copy of the His Lives and Times book got destroyed during the move, like most things. So I salvaged the bits I could and stuck them in this frame. And I don't know, I think it looks quite cool. So they're just random bits from that awesome book, which I have since got a new copy of. And then behind that is one of my favourite things in my entire collection, which is my Sarah Jane Adventures poster that I got signed by most of the cast at the Attic convention. And beside them is the figure bits, like the Phaser Bow and Cyber Controller chair, that don't fit on the shelf because they're too oddly shaped. Oh, and there's also this pile of Doctor Who cushions that just live here. So these ones, and Mateus one from Class, because that's not creepy at all. Swiftly moving on, there's this section which has some K9 figures. A Cyberman. They sort of blend in with Telly and Piers too, don't they? Then there's two bobbleheads, except the 10th Doctor one is broken, so he looks like something out of The Exorcist. Weeping Angel one is holding a ton of necklaces, 99% of them are Doctor Who obviously, including this fob watch, and they're on top of this awesome 11th Doctor vinyl figure. Next is this big box of essentially Doctor Who clutter. So random DW free gifts, puzzle, Trivial Pursuit, and just Who stuff that didn't really fit anywhere else. And then on the floor next to that box are some TARDISes. So if we spin round, there is my bed, sufficiently TARDIS covered, and at the bottom of it are these two Dalek cookie jar boxes, which are being used as tables for my Doctor Who comics. So at the top there are some miscellaneous Titan comics, then some of the volume. Then I have some non-Doctor Who comics, including Buffy, The Flash, Arrow, and Riverdale. Oh, and the Mark of Mandragore is there on that pile as well, which makes sense, as it's a comic. If I get any more, I'll probably have to find a more convenient home for them, but for now this setup seems to work. On the floor in front of my window is this Dalek hot water bottle holder, and that brings us onto the wardrobes. So on the front of this one are the Series 11 art cards that came with the deluxe edition of DDWM. I just like the design of these, so I put them up. And then on top of the wardrobe I have my Modern Who DVDs. As you might be able to tell, I don't have Series 10 or Series 11, and that's because they're on iPlayer, so I'm not really in any rush to get them. And behind the DVDs you can spot two boxes. Those are completely full to the brim with more Doctor Who stuff. Unfortunately I can't get them down because I'm way too short to reach them, but it's just box figures and some more videos and random Who bits. And on the inside of the cupboard door I have the Doctor DDWM art cards. Don't know why. On top of the other wardrobe is my Classic Who DVDs, which I don't know why they're after the Modern Who. It's probably because I can reach these ones. I'm sort of realising that my collection isn't properly ordered, but oh well. There's two more boxes at the back there, which you can see some tortured figures poking out of. And again, they're just filled to the brim with miscellaneous Who things. The DVDs are being held up by this bookend that came with the Complete History subscription. And there's also the tube for the Doctor Who Christmas tree, which I haven't put back in yet, so I should probably do that. And on the side of the wardrobe is a mini wall of past endeavours, so just tickets and random things from mostly Doctor Who events. There's also this 11th Doctor and Churchill poster. Here's a closer look at some of the tickets, so just photo op things, take that, oh, and a Merlin sticker, naturally. And on the edge of the wardrobe are all my Doctor Who lanyards. And then finally we've reached the bedroom door, which just has a calendar and the 4th Doctor's scarf on it. Oh look, I've got a busy month. I'm only joking, I'm so stressed. Send help. Oh wait, we can't leave the bedroom yet because I forgot to show you under the bed, which we don't talk about because it's a gigantic mess. There's a box of Doctor Who VHSs and a box of boxed figures, and then the TARDIS playset and things, and on the other side is board games, tins, and even more boxed figures. This is a mess. But that's it for the bedroom, so let's move on. Wait, no it isn't. The bottom drawer of my bedside table is full of Doctor Who things. So we've got Mr. Huffle, some tins, that's a Christmas decoration, and yeah, there's just Who in every crevice of this flat, so it's hard to remember where it all is. Right, now we're in the hallway. So there's this cabinet. Oh, this is cool. So this is the jewellery box that Amy has in her bedroom, which you can see in the Pandora opens. I've actually had this since I was very young, so even the non-Doctor Who things I own are in some way Doctor Who related. On top of the cabinet there's a boxed radio-controlled Dalek, and then this cupboard section. And then this cupboard section is where I store my VHS collection that isn't under the bed. The two bottom drawers of this cabinet are also filled with Who stuff. So this one is entirely full of DDWM free gifts and then some random things. There's a couple more Complete History subscription gifts in here as well. And then the drawer beneath that is where I keep all my Doctor Who trading and playing cards, which I have done a video on. If you would like to see everything that's in this drawer, I'll link it below. Also in the hallway is this media storage bookcase thing, which is technically broken, but I'm using it to keep in Who stuff for now. So we've got the SJA Alien Communicator, which I've left the price on for some reason. And then we have some Doctor Who books, including The Boy Who Kicked Pigs. And then moving down we have my Target book collection. I've done a video on this also if you'd like to see them more in depth, or you could just pause the video, it's your choice. This shelf is a mess, but like most things in this flat, they just didn't fit anywhere else. So this is all the sort of younger reader books, like the Decide Your Destinies, SJA, Quick Reads. The shelf beneath that is my DDWM shelf. So these are all my Doctor Who magazines I have so far, including special editions, a few essentials, and then the deluxe edition from last year. Oh, and this DWA Monster Advent Calendar, which is here, because it has a Zygon on it. And these little counters on the front come from a board game. The board game got broken, as I mentioned before, quite a lot of stuff did when I moved, but I salvaged these. The next shelf down is random Doctor Who things, so they're all Doctor Who magazines, like SFX and stuff, with the exception of this beautiful Empire one. This pile is all miscellaneous TV guides with Doctor Who on the front cover, and then this pile is all Radio Times with Doctor Who on the front cover. Then on the bottom shelf we have my Dalek hybrid voice changer helmet. Doesn't fit anywhere, so it's here. Then these are DWA calendars. This red folder is full of larger magazines like newspaper supplements. This box is full of figurine collection. And that's it for the hallway. So now moving into my front room. The first thing you see is my desk, so here it is. On the top shelf we have some signed books, and then aesthetically pleasing books. That's how they're organised. So obviously we have the Time Lord Fairy Tales box set on here because it's gorgeous. Then I have my Jodie Whittaker autograph, and then another one of those Davros tins, but this one is full of Sharpies. Moving along we have more books, and also I have these 3 notebooks, which are a recent addition to my collection, but personally I think they're awesome. Then there's these little pots of stationery, and naturally I stuck an 11th Doctor sticker on them because they weren't Doctor Who-y enough. This you might recognise from the background of some of my videos. It's a complete mess of random Who and magazine things, but it's just something to stare at really. Lovely bit of Jeffrey there. Then on this little shelf I have an Angel's Take Manhattan postcard, a little plastic version of my icon, and some DD bits. Then the last thing on my shelf is this stuff. Some magazines that I refer to often, and then I'm sure there's some Doctor Who in here. There we go. Oh, and I forgot to show you the best magazine cover, which is this GQ with Matt Smith on. That's it, that's my desk. Wow, let's not look in there. Moving on to the fireplace, which is a bit bare, but above it I have this awesome 11th Doctor and Amy print, a Doctor Who lantern from Etsy, and then this awesome Doctor Who money bank. Then across from the fireplace I have probably my favourite Doctor Who bookcase. So at the top is the side mat, the British icon Dalek, and some awesome prints. Then we just have reference books and Doctor Who Pop Funko figures going all the way down, and then the bottom 2 shelves are novels and PDAs. Oh, and some random candles. And these drawers. There's still TARDIS balloons all over the place from my birthday in December, but they fit the theme, I guess. This drawer is full of the Doctor Who Files books, some small little Who pieces, posters that used to be on my bedroom wall when I lived at home. The bottom drawer is a complete mess of convention planners, old calendars, and really old birthday cards. On the side of the next cabinet are these awesome Andrew Skilleter art cards. And on the top of that cabinet are more boxes full of Doctor Who stuff. In front of them is my Benedict Cumberbatch and Louise Jameson autographs, and the box for the 13th Doctor Barbie. And this is the main part of that cabinet, which is basically a load of breakable Who stuff, or stuff that gets dusty easily, so I've hid it behind glass. So on the top shelf at the back we have some figurine collection, my classic moment Zygon and Zygon puzzle. More figurine collection, but obviously the Pterodactyl and Zygon are together. Then moving across we just have more figurine collection. Here we have some busts, the Doctor mugs, and poking out there is the 13th Doctor Barbie, who I actually got for Christmas but forgot to show in my collection update. But yeah, there's that shelf. Moving down to the second shelf, which is heavily Dalek themed. So behind this platinum Dalek cookie jar is the Genesis of the Daleks vinyl, and I think Infamy of the Zaros is behind that. Then we have more large Daleks and Dalek Mania behind them. And these ones are just here to fill the gap really, they don't need to be protected, it's just a bubble bath and a Dalek alarm clock. And in front of them I have all my opened figurine collection Daleks. Unfortunately some of them are broken, but they're still awesome. And there's some Cybermen there as well. Moving down from that is just the printer and some Homeless Who stuff, so these plates I still need to find a home for, and this 6th Doctor mug. The cupboard beneath that is a box full of DWAs, including the new one. Then there's some Doctor Who puzzles and board games at the top there. I also have some Doctor Who stuff in my kitchen. This 13th Doctor print, and up there is a Dalek egg cup next to, well, I don't know what that is. Then I've got the 7th Doctor quote, and that TARDIS is a cupcake set. On top of these cupboards I have some of my framed autographs from various past conventions. So I've got Pearl Mackie's, Peter Davison's, Paul McGann's, Ian McNeece's, and then a Greg Austin one. Shelf of all my Doctor Who mugs. I don't actually use these, they just live here. This mug, which is being used to store some pens. And there are these Series 3 magnets on the side of the fridge, because who wouldn't want Dalek Hybrid in their kitchen? The last Who thing I have in here is this awesome Doctor Who tea towel, which just has Who written all over it in different colours. Very snazzy. And the last thing in my flat, which mostly isn't Who related, is this bookcase. Top is the radio controlled Davros. So on the top shelf I have some books, including the awesome Class ones, next to some more Patrick Ness, a Harry Potter shelf, this Star Wars chess set, which wasn't Doctor Who enough, so there's a Digger Boy Dalek there, and I think that's Mickey's gun. Oh, and here is where I accidentally superglued my thumb to the shelf and had to rip it off. Good times. On this shelf is the best quote in the world, and a little TARDIS. This is where I keep my programmes from the Doctor Who Experience. And that's it. That's my entire flat. Thank you for looking around. I hope you enjoyed this video.